Good afternoon from Kingston, Ontario, and welcome to this webinar for prospective students to the School of Urban and Regional Planning, or CERP for short. We are here in the historic Gordon Hall on the main Queen's campus. My name is Leela Vishwanathan. I'm a registered professional planner and I act as the admissions coordinator for CERP. I'm fortunate to have with me Professor Dave Gordon, director of the school, second-year student Anna Jaladi, and first-year student Zoe Acton. They're going to help to contribute to this webinar. Also with us is Angie Ballastant with the Department of Geography and Planning and Colette Steer with the School of Graduate Studies. We will use this webinar to highlight some of the key features of our program and also to help convey some of the intangible features of our school that are not easily communicated via our website. Of course, our website has a lot more specific information. Professor Gordon will now introduce you to our school and why CERP is a great choice for building your future career in planning.
Hello. Let me start at the end. I'm a CERP grad from the 1970s, and these, in the black and white photo, are some of the students who helped welcome me to the school over 40 years ago. We hope to see your face in our class photo of 2020. We want you to be part of an almost 50-year history of training professional planners for Canada and the world. You're not only gaining admittance into the MPL program at Queen's University, but also joining a community of professional planners that trace their path through our school. We would like you to be part of our community and maintain a lifetime connection with CERP. There are almost 1,000 alumni ready to warmly welcome you. Our alumni are an important part of our success and achievements as a planning school. Almost all of our alumni are working in planning-related jobs. You can name a Canadian city and there's a good chance that a CERP alumnus is there willing to help you. For example, recently the directors of the planning departments of cities such as St. John's, Newfoundland, Ottawa, Timmins, Yellowknife, and Metro Vancouver are graduates of our program. In short, your success is our success. We hope that this webinar will help convince you that CERP is a good place for you. Now, the next slide here, the first question is perhaps the most important. Why should you make the trip to Kingston and invest 2 years of your life to study planning at our school? So here's a few key points. I already mentioned the vast and tightly knit alumni network. But let's pause for a moment to reflect that our school graduates only about 2% of the planners in Canada. But that 2% occupy a large percentage of key positions within our profession. We have a strong and active relationship with our professional associations. In Ontario, it's the OPPI. In Canada, it's the CIP, the Professional Standards Board. And we also encourage our students to join the professional association from their home province during our program. Now, our program fosters a collegial atmosphere. All of your peers have made the same decision to enter the planning profession. You'll quickly develop a strong bond with your classmates, forged from coursework and working cooperatively to address a variety of planning issues and challenges within a number of local, regional, national, and planning issues. The whole class has made the decision to come to Kingston and Queen's, spend a couple of years together to embark on this journey. You won't be alone. We're a microcosm of Canada with students coming from east and west coasts and all places in between. You'll work together and play together with your peers. We offer a positive learning environment that encourages contact with the community and challenges you to make and solve real-world planning problems. Now, we're fully accredited by the Professional Planning Standards Board and have been since the school has been established. We received a glowing review in our past assessment, and our students qualify to become professional planners across Canada and North America.
Thanks, Dave. So this next slide says how to prepare. What should I study during my undergrad to prepare for the MPL program? Well, the good news is that we think you're already well prepared for our program, because it doesn't matter what you studied for your undergraduate degree. What matters is that the planning profession needs people from all academic perspectives and backgrounds. After all, cities are diverse places that need creative ideas to improve social, economic, and environmental conditions. It's our philosophy to maintain a diversity of intellectual backgrounds within our program. So when you join us at SERP, you can expect the following: that most of your work will be completed in teams or groups. This is how we operate in the planning profession for the most part. You're going to receive all the soft skills of working within a team dynamic so that it's great fun and it's also an awesome challenge. We proudly focus on policy research with an eye to influencing public policy and planning by providing sound recommendations to make our world a better place to live. We don't do research just for the sake of doing research. Our research and your work is to inform policy and the public interest. Planning is spatially focused and highlights the intersection between the physical and social worlds. As I previously mentioned, coming here means being part of a community, and there are lots of ways to be engaged. This sets us apart from other planning schools because you're strongly encouraged to be part of various committees, because very little is done in our school without student input and vote. Also to keep in mind is that we're not a commuter school where students just come in for classes and then disappear. In building community, there's lots of learning that happens outside of the classroom. Almost all of our students are student members of the planning profession, and we're an important ladder into the profession and to you moving through the ranks of the profession to become a full member. Our approach is to get students involved with the planning profession early and often during the 2 years with us. We really want our students to make an impact in the world, and we know our students want that too. So when it comes to the work, we engage with the students to build close ties with community members. This may also include elected politicians and the profession. Our strategic location within driving distance of Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa means that our students have access to and are involved in some of the most exciting planning projects in the country. We offer you access to planning in many different contexts. So when it comes to planning as a career, it's not just a question about whether our planning school is the right match for you, but generally more if planning is the right career for you. Above all, we believe that planners work in the public interest to achieve, in whatever measure, a better place for all of us to live, grow, and work. During your 2 years with us, we will provide you with the training you need to build skills that planners need to be successful, and I should also add, to be successful leaders in the profession. You'll learn how to make policy recommendations, set planning guidelines, conduct research, prepare plans, and interact with the public and various community groups as well. Back to Professor Gordon.
We're extremely proud of our graduates. We're not just Kingston's planning school or Ottawa's planning school. We're a truly national and international school responsible for training professional planners to work in a diverse range of jobs. So here's a half a dozen from last year that are doing interesting stuff. From small towns to large cities, from local governments to provincial and national agencies, public and private sector, land use planning, social planning, and environmental management, our alumni have embarked on exciting careers in planning all across Canada and around the world. So coming to Kingston opens doors to opportunities right across this country and beyond. Now, if you're interested in more of this, we invite you to explore by clicking on these two links the current planning graduate students and their background. And on that one, you'll see also the last 3 or 4 years of students, and their LinkedIn pages are all there, so you can see what they've been up to in the months and years after they've completed their degree. And then there's some alumni spotlights with stories about our slightly more senior graduates who are doing interesting work across Canada and around the world.
Thanks, Dave. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time to go over some of the more specific details of the NPL program. Our program is unique in that it offers students a number of choices and an opportunity to design a program of study that meets their own needs. But it's really important for me to note that you don't need to decide any of these options until you arrive in September. In September, you will be assigned an academic advisor who will help you decide what program path is right for you. So don't worry, you don't need to make any decisions right now. You'll work through them with your academic advisor. Just know that we have 3 program paths that are outlined on this slide. The first option is the coursework option, or the course-only option. The second option is about completing a professional planning report, and there are fewer courses to take than you would in option number 1. Option number 3 is an academic thesis option, and it requires completing even fewer courses than all the other options. So which option you select depends on many things, but most notably, whether you are more of a self-learner that likes a balance of coursework with independent research on a report or thesis, or whether you're someone who prefers the structure of learning through coursework. When you graduate, all of you will graduate with the same degree, no matter what course path you take. But in all the options, you'll note that no student can avoid taking core courses. So let me discuss what those are on the next slide. Core courses are courses that we have decided that every planning student should take, generally with no exemptions or exceptions. Regardless of your specific interests in being a social planner, an environmental planner, or a land use planner, everyone should know about the various course topics identified in this slide. So there are 7 required courses that you will take as part of your program. And we think we have created the right balance of core courses and elective courses. Simply put, half the program credits are from core courses and the other half from elective courses. Note also that you will take most of the core courses during your first year. You get more choice as you progress through our program. The elective courses are the ones that you get to decide. We've organized most of our elective courses into 3 areas of concentration, which I'll begin to explain to you on the next slide. Our 3 areas of concentration are environmental services, health and social planning, and land use and real estate development. You must complete at least 1 area of concentration, which means that you must take elective courses that satisfy the requirements of 1 area of concentration. But realize that you can take elective courses in any of these areas as well. You just need to take enough of the elective courses to fulfill 1 area of concentration. Again, you don't have to decide on your area of concentration until you arrive in September. The areas of concentration derive from the expertise of the faculty in your school, and they will enable you to acquire further specialization in an area of planning that interests you. Elective courses listed within each area of concentration will give you the latest knowledge and training. Furthermore, each area of concentration prepares you for the project course, which is the capstone course of our program and which is explained in the next slide. So you will complete the project course in the fall semester, in your case, of 2019. We usually have 1 project course that's specifically geared to each of our areas of concentration. The project course involves working in teams of about 7 or 8 students to complete a planning report for a real community client with real deliverables, real budget, and real deadlines. The project courses involve numerous community clients, such as the National Capital Commission, the City of Ottawa, the City of Kingston, social planning councils, public health as well, and conservation authorities, just to name a few. Lately, we've also had one of our courses in an international setting, and later on, Anna will describe that course for you. Student teams work on their project on their own with very little faculty input. They present their findings and recommendations to city councils, governing boards, or planning committees, sometimes to the public as well. There are no lectures to attend or instructions from faculty because students must demonstrate that they can complete a planning report of a professional quality for a client, much like one would for a planning consulting firm. This, for our students and for faculty in the school overall, is a rewarding experience because it teaches students more than just the topic of their project. They learn how to work in a team environment, how to interact with a community member or a client, to manage a budget, and to collectively write a report and present findings in a public forum. Many of our students' projects have garnered media attention and have ultimately influenced public policy. I'll now pass things along to Professor Gordon, who will walk you through the CERP Internship Initiative and various international opportunities.
Thanks, Leila. The school doesn't offer any courses during the spring or summer semester between first and second year. Instead, we want you to get out of the school and into the real world of planning by taking on a planning-related job. We have a faculty member, Dr. John Andrew, who's responsible for organizing our internship program. Over 94% of our internship positions have been paid in recent years. Some of the employers come to Kingston to interview our students. For example, the City of Ottawa's here on Friday. Some of the internship jobs are exclusive to students interviewed in the school, meaning the employer has agreed to hire only a CERP student. And another unique aspect of our school is its connection with the federal government of Canada. Although we're a master's degree, we are also a federal cooperative program with a direct pipeline into the many federal agencies in Ottawa and across the country. And federal agencies are able to hire our students on bridge contracts to get into a full-time career. Now, the next slide shows a selected list of internships held by students over the past 2 summers. We were just guessing what might be interesting to you. I think most everybody has got a internship. You have to hustle, and, but I forget, Anna, what was your internship last year?
Yeah, so last summer, I worked for the Township of Leeds in the Thousand Islands as their age-friendly planning coordinator. And I spent 4 months writing an age-friendly action plan, which was then implemented by council and is a piece of policy that they use today.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So note the variety of the positions, not just in their geographic location, but also in the type of work. Now, we can't guarantee you'll get an internship. And remember, when we say internship, these are paid professional positions dealing typically with policy. But it's my understanding that most years there's been an internship for every student that wants one and helps hustle to get it. Now, moving on, we also want to get you out of the classroom in first year with field trips, which you'll hear more about, to Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa in the first term. And then in second year, we hope to get most of the students in a class out of Canada for some sort of international experience. So we have an exciting opportunity for you during your last semester with us. In January of 2020, how would you like to escape the Canadian winter and complete your coursework when it's summer at either Curtin University or the University of Western Australia in Perth or the University of Otago in New Zealand? Now, Colette's smiling here because she's a University of Western Australia grad and knows about the weather in her hometown right now.
Very cold.
Very cold. A number of our students have completed this exchange and gained rewarding international experience. So out of the class, I don't know, 35 students, 4 right now, 2 are at Perth, and 2 are in Otago, and next year we'll have opportunity for 2 more to go to Curtin University. So we're hoping to send 5 out of Zoe's class. We'll see how it goes. Now, we also, coming the other way, have students from Curtin, Otago, and Sweden in the school this year. And that helps make the place more interesting. Next, if you can't make it to Australia, or New Zealand, we have 3 other exciting international experiences on offer. First of all, most years, Professor Agarwal takes a team of students to India to work with community groups on a planning project, which have included topics such as heritage conservation in Pune, or public participation developing plans in Oroville on the East Coast. This is an international project course similar to the domestic ones I mentioned earlier. In addition to this, I think Professor Milligran has taken students to Shanghai recently. Secondly, the student-run, student-adjudicated International Experience Award program provides with travel funds to explore a particular planning issue or topic. Usually we have between 3 and 5 students a year, and in the past the students have used the funds to travel to Iceland or Cuba or New Zealand or Jordan, South Africa. I think Anna went to Chile to study various and interesting planning solutions in a different context in Canada, and then report back to the school to make it a more interesting environment. And third, we have a unique relationship with the Chinese government. So every year we send 1 or 2 students every summer on a paid internship to Beijing in China to work with the Chinese government agency that is responsible for planning and natural resource protection. This is a fantastic internship to peer into the workings of a government managing the most populous nation on earth. Both the CERP and the Chinese government travel your costs, including airfare. And to make the CERP a more interesting place, we typically have 4 or 5 Chinese planners exchanging through CERP every term. And in the past, we've trained almost 500 senior planners in China about land use planning, and they're distributed across the entire nation. So that's enough from me. How about hearing from some of our students who can give you the real inside scoop on the program? Anna.
So hi everyone, my name is Anna. I'm a second-year student here at CERP. So as both Leela and Dave mentioned, I've participated in various of the international opportunities. So I took part in the India project course. So I went to India just recently in December. And I also went to Chile over the summer through the International Experience Award. And then as Dave mentioned, I had a summer internship this past summer with the Township of Lees and Thousand Islands, working on age-friendly planning policy. And during my first year, I guess all of our students, all of our classmates, we came together. We went on a bunch of class field trips that were self-organized. We got together for a lot of game board nights, pub nights, just watching some hockey games on TV. So we do a lot of things together. That's a little bit about me.
And now I'm Zoe, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about CERP Life. So I'm in my first year of the CERP program, and I have to say, from the moment you get to Kingston in the fall, then you'll see just how welcoming we are. We organize a 4 or 5 day long orientation week to have you acquaint yourself with all of who will be your second years, including myself, as well as all of your classmates. So we organize a bunch of games to get to know one another and hang out and have fun. And then throughout your entire first semester, we have a lot of activities that we organize. So as Dave previously mentioned, we have field trips that we go on to Toronto, to the OPPI conference. We go to Montreal, and we go to Ottawa. But amongst ourselves, we also organize a variety of different events, such as we go to hockey games, we have movie nights, we have game board nights, we go to karaoke, we have intramurals, we go to conferences together, we plan dinners and potlucks and pub nights. We also went to axe throwing recently, which was another fun thing. So we're always looking to explore Kingston and do fun, cool, new activities and enjoy these things together just because we have so much fun hanging out together.
And what is this Wednesday night curling? I've got some pretty tired planners on Thursday morning in my class.
Yeah, so one of our most popular intramurals is curling. Tonight's actually our last game, which is sad, but we have 30 of our class of 70 who participate in this. So it's extremely fun and a great way to try a great Canadian sport.
Now I've got a question. It's Dave again for you two. Where's home? And have you been able to study about home or places that you want to work in the future while you're with us? So.
Okay, so where's home is a hard question for me to answer. I was born in Belgium and my family moved around a lot. So currently, home, I guess, for me would be Kingston, but my parents live in Oakville. And just every time I go back there, like Dave was saying earlier, there's such a tight-knit alumni community that you're able to connect with people wherever you go. When I recently traveled to Chile and mentioned that I was studying urban planning here at Queen's University, they were so excited just to be able to connect with other planners. So I'm always learning about policies and what other planners are doing almost like all around the world.
And I'm from Vancouver, so I decided I wanted to go to and live in a mid-sized city and see what that was like coming from such a large place like Vancouver. And I've really loved it. It's a completely different atmosphere. The beauty of Queens and Kingston in general is that it's so student-oriented, so everyone around you is like 18 to 25, it seems. So it's kind of nice to have people who are at the same part of their life and exploring that together. And definitely for projects, we get to really focus them on what we're interested in. So I love Vancouver and I definitely want to be back there when I start my career. And I've been able to really focus and hone in on Vancouver planning issues throughout many of my reports at CERP. So it's definitely nice how adaptable all of the professors are to letting us decide what we want to study and focus on.
Great. Thanks a lot, Guy.
So if any of you guys have any questions about Kingston or the international opportunities or CERP life, like what classes are like, we get offices every year, or even how to find housing and living accommodations here in Kingston, feel free to send us a question or ask away. Zoe and I are here to answer your questions.
So there you have it. Keep in mind that if and when you receive an offer of admission, that there is a deadline for you to accept the offer. And we would appreciate if you would use the portal that you'll get a link from the School of Graduate Studies to inform us whether or not you've accepted or declined our offer when you receive it. You can also drop an email to me, Leela Vishwanathan, or to Joanne Tinlin. I often CC her on my emails with you. I've spoken to a few of you already. If you decide not to accept our offer, and we'd be very sad if that were the case, I'd kindly ask that you let us know by going into the portal and emailing us, because we have many other students on the waiting list who want to come. So now we've reached the point that there's an opportunity for you to ask your questions, and you can begin to type them, and one of us will answer as best as we can. Also, you can always email any questions that you may have to Joanne or to me as the admissions coordinator, or you can go to the CERP website to obtain additional information. Please feel free to ask any questions. We have faculty here and students and information that we can provide you if feel free to ask. But we want to thank you for joining us today and taking the time. It's been a pleasure to be able to connect with you in this way.